so now we have officially installed Python and our IDE, Visual Studio Code, or whatever IDE you chose. But now how do we start programming? Well, if we really want to start programming in Python, we can easily start programming right now. But a better way, and a way that I have known to work way more better and way more efficiently, is to set up a virtual environment. Now, a virtual environment in Python is practically an environment where you can install packages and libraries virtually in a folder. So instead of installing a library globally on your computer, instead you create a virtual environment for your specific project. So whenever you install a library, it's going to be specific only to that project and not globally on your computer, accessible to every project. And why this is so useful is so you don't have so many installations and libraries all on your computer and having them all conflict with one another. Instead, you have the specific libraries you need for that specific project. So that's why a virtual environment is so useful. And I wish I knew that sooner, but now you know. So now in order to set up a virtual environment, we first have to type in Python. And since we have Python 3, instead of typing in Python, we're going to actually do Python 3. And then we're going to hit -m, and then we're going to do them. And then all we have to do is specify the path of where we're going to be creating this virtual environment. And since we want to create our virtual environment in this folder, all we have to do is actually just give the name of the virtual environment because we're already in this folder. So if we do ls to list all of the files and directories we have in this folder, all we should have is main.py. So we're just going to call this Python virtualenv, so stands for virtual environment, and then we can put a dash or whatever, but I'm just going to leave it like this, and then I'm going to hit enter. And now you can see that Python is starting to create our virtual environment. And then you can see this little warning here saying that a new virtual environment has been created. And do you want to select it for the folder workspace? I'm just going to close this because I actually don't want to. And what you can do here is, instead of using this 3.11.1 or whatever version you're using, you can see right here that if you hit this in Python, it says select an interpreter. And now you can select all these interpreters or different Python versions that you have on your computer. So you can see right here that we have Python virt.env, and that's the one we want to use, which is this one. So if we do that, now if we install any libraries, it's not going to be globally installed on our computer, but specifically going to be installed in this Python environment right here. So now we have set up our virtual environment, and now all we have to do is create a file. And I already have a file created right here called main.py, so just create a file, and it has to end in .py, otherwise it just won't work. And now we're going to go write our first line of Python code. And the tradition when we first write our first Python code is to print something to the terminal. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to do print, and this print function is an essential function to know because it really helps with debugging. And all this print function does is it prints something, any value, to the terminal, but it has to be in string. And we're going to talk about what string is later on, but all you need to know is that a string is practically a piece of text. So we're printing text to the terminal. And the most common phrase for beginners to print to the terminal is hello world, like so. But instead of making it so bland and boring, what we can do is we can put a smiley face like that. And here we go. This is what we're going to be printing to the terminal. So if we run this, so you can either hit this run Python file right there, or if you really want to, you can go run your main.py by doing Python 3, and then we're going to do /, and then we are just going to do main.py. So now we have ran our Python file. So this is our first line of Python code, and all we had to do is print to the terminal. So that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.